Good morning, guys. This is David and Laura from Busy Bee Farms, and today we are just going to take care of chores and just kind of show a little bit of the garden and how things are, how they're doing.
Yep.
You guys know we're here in Middle Tennessee. We've been going through quite a drought spell. I don't remember the last time that we got rain.
Say a month.
But
Well,
it's
we got a
been
sprinkle, but
it's been over a month since we got any rain. All the grass is dried up and died, and Laura's been watering in the evenings, both our front garden and our back garden. But we're just going to kind of show you a little bit of how the garden's doing.
Yep, it's been in the ground just over a month. So just to give you an idea, and most of these plants were started indoors, like the tomatoes and peppers. The cucumbers, were direct sown. The butternut squash and green beans were direct sown. So you can kind of tell how they have done. But right here starts our tomatoes.
So first off, absolutely love the woven ground cover because the weeds are the only thing growing right now here in this area. But I think we started a little late, which normally we have frost later than what we did this year. But going by the planting guide is what we done.
Yep.
So these tomatoes are...
These are the Jet Stars.
Right. But they're up about 2.5, 3 foot. And we're watering, which all I done is I took a piece of 2x4, put a little piece of plywood on there, and screwed the sprinkler head to the 2x4 and put it through 2 sections of cattle panels, and that raises it up to where the water can kind of shoot out over the whole garden area. But Laura's been watering, and we're starting to get our tomatoes.
And we still got
a lot of blooms.
But it still has tomatoes. Those have tomatoes. These are the Jet Setter, which is just a different hybrid of the Jet Star. So we just we were going to try those this year. And I mean, they're doing fine. They've got lots of blooms on them, so hopefully they will produce some tomatoes. And then some are just kind of like stunted. Like some of these little ones here, they still have never just taken off. I had a few cabbages and a kohlrabi kind of left. I just stuck in the ground, but it's getting eat on.
Yep.
Not dead, but it's getting eat on. These right here are the jalapeno peppers.
Jalapenos. Taste like jalapenos, but they're not hot.
I think that are getting ready to set out.
Yeah, I see like the blooms up here in the top.
Yeah. So like these up here, I don't know if it's just because they're kind of all in the shade. I don't really know. But as we get further down to the next few rows, they start doing a whole lot better. These are bell peppers. So every year we have trouble with bell peppers, and this year we tried some different varieties. This is the Big Bertha variety, and then down there at the end, we'll walk down there because they are actually probably the best looking pepper plant I have in this whole garden. But they are a sweetie mix. It's a mini bell pepper, and they look so good. But these are actually looking pretty good to me. They're looking more bushy than we've had before. So, we'll see.
Don't have no fruit on them yet, but...
No, but right here, you can see that this one's about ready to. Right down in there. I bet that that's going to put some flowers on it pretty soon.
These tomato plants down here are just a little bit taller. They're probably more like 4 foot tall. I don't see fruit on them yet, but they are bloomed, so it shouldn't be long.
Paste. And there is one fruit. It's on up that way somewhere, but these are to right here is Amish paste. These right here are red Goliath slicing tomatoes, and these down here. These few right here died. But this is the mini bell pepper mixed plant, and they have blooms and getting ready to set fruit right there. They are doing really good.
Oh, we got some tomatoes there.
Yes, these are, like I said, the red Goliath ones, and this is a cluster of 3 right there. The next row is the exciting row because of the celebrities. Look at that cluster of tomatoes.
We got something eating on that tomato in there.
Where?
Right in there. Oh, you see it right there? Hornworm. I'm gonna pull this one off. Try to. You seen?
Oh, there we go.
There he is. That little hornworm eating it up. And this is how we take care of him. Here, girls. Y'all eat him up.
We just got our spraying, so we will be coming out to look for them and start spraying for these worms.
Now, talk to us about what you bought that you're talking about spray.
We actually have some BT, which is good for worms. And then we also bought some spinosad that we were going to put on our corn as it's tasseling. We heard that we could, read that we could use the spinosad to help deter the worms from getting into our corn. So we're going to try that. But also I was going to try it down here if I saw those worms. And so we will have to start doing that. That's the first one I've seen. We come down here every day. And we look at the progress and everything, and I've not seen any kind of eating on the leaves or anything like that yet, which is usually the first sign of like a hornworm. So I don't know if that was a true hornworm or not, but it definitely was a worm and eating my tomato. And I was so proud of these tomatoes because, like I said, there is a huge cluster of tomatoes there. And then there's these tomatoes right in there that are growing. There is a big cluster down in there. And then also, like right there, there's a cluster. And right there, the plants look so healthy and had lots of tomatoes on them. So I was really, really impressed with those doing well. Let's see, the whole row is celebrity. I have to remember because some of the rows got split up with different varieties and I've tried to mark them, but this entire row is celebrities. But these down here on the end seem to be doing a lot better than the ones closer to a lot of the shade. So that is definitely an observation. This row right here is also a row of bell peppers, and these last few plants right here are an emerald giant bell pepper. We've grown those in the past, and this year these look better than they have before. I don't know if it's where I've planted them. I don't know if it's because I started them a few weeks early and I have continued to give them fertilizer every week. I think it's a combination of all of it, but I'm really happy with kind of how they look at this point. And they do all look like they're getting ready to set some fruit. There's some down in there. Those right there, and then right in there. So they are doing okay. We'll see. But almost every one of these celebrity plants have a group of tomatoes on them. So that is really, really cool. Really, really cool. The jet setter plants are still, you know, no, I'm sorry. These are the Amish paste. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Up here, yes, here it is. Right here is the Amish paste tomato that's been on there for a little while. And it looks like we got another one started right there. And then another one starting right there. So it's definitely, they're definitely setting fruit. It's just taking longer this year, and that's okay. You know, we have a long growing season here in Tennessee, and so, you know, we are going to be harvesting things all the way up until usually the 1st of November. I know our last frost date is, I think it's usually October 19th, 20th, something like that. But we typically run later than that, so we'll have to see. Now these few pepper plants right here, these are King Arthur bell peppers, and so they are doing good too. Right there, there is a set fruit, and then setting fruit right in there. So I also got some more fertilizer in the mail for when they're fruiting and bloom and putting bloom on. It's called AgroThrive, and it's an organic fertilizer. It still has nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium in it. I can't remember, but I will show y'all about that. But it's specifically to be fertilizer for when these plants are setting fruit and trying to bloom and things like that. I've never tried it before. I heard about it. It's applied basically like you would a fish emulsion, and so forth. So I got that this week, and I need to get that mixed up and given to the plants too. So I'll do that here soon. But yeah, you know, I guess I shouldn't say that the Big Bertha is probably the best look, or the Sweetie mix down there is the best, because I mean those are looking pretty good to me. I probably will have to give them some kind of support when they really set on fruit, because they are a little taller and a little lankier, but you know, I'm gonna go with it. This next row is the Craig's Grande jalapenos, some orange spice jalapenos, and then Serrano and Poblano. And the Poblanos are the big plants down there at the end, and they are doing good. They are doing really, really good. My jalapenos are not the best here, but they're doing okay. This one right here is fixing to set fruit. This one right here actually has one on it. Right in there, so that's good. Let's see, and there's another one right there. Now, I told you I didn't see anything eating, but I have seen occasional pepper that's been like this, but not all of them. So it really puzzled me as to what was happening with them, but everything else is still growing, and I've not seen anything else. So that's what's going on there. These are the orange spice ones and jalapenos. There's been a couple that have just kind of started looking a little puny, like that one right there. I don't know why it's looking a little puny, but it kind of is. This one is setting some fruit. This one has a jalapeno.
I doubt seriously that she would say that.
That's really cool. And then these are my serranos. I planted 3 because they usually are very prolific for me. They have in the past. But this one is the only one that's left. So it's going to set fruit there. It looks like it. So we will just go with what we get. And these are poblanos. I've never grown poblanos before. But I am looking at all of these little blooms on there. There's one, and there's one, and there's one, and there's one, and this one has several on it. So, and then over here, this one has several blooms on it as well. So they are just, everything's growing as it's supposed to, I guess. So we'll take what we can get, especially in this drought. I think whatever we harvest, we're very lucky to receive, because being diligent and trying to water everything and keep everything alive in this heat. We had 2 weeks of straight hot weather, straight almost like 100-degree weather, and then humidity and no rain. So it's definitely been a battle for the gardener in some places, I'm sure, just to kind of keep things growing and things. So that is that row. We have one more tomato row. This is a sunny Goliath. It's supposed to be a yellow Goliath, and so there's one big one there. I still see another one beginning to grow, and then it's bloomed again up here. There's a few of these plants here that they go all the way. I've never had a yellow tomato, so I just wanted to try it and see how it grows. So the plants look good. They definitely have some blooms on them, so hopefully soon we'll have more than just a couple of those. I'm going backwards, and this is a mixed row, so I'm hoping I get it all right. These are a pink beef steak tomato. Let's see. We have some blooms there and some blooms there, but no tomatoes yet. Same there, lots of blooms, but no tomatoes. Let's see up here. Lots of blooms, but no tomatoes. So hopefully soon these will. This is probably a pink beef steak too. I'm not on the other side to tell. This right here is a black strawberry cherry tomato. And we have us a good little cluster growing right there. And this one right here, we've been watching it. It is turning all kinds of pretty colors, and so hopefully soon it will get ready. And then it's starting to set more blooms on each side. And then we planted 2 of those, and so here's another one, and it has several there, and about ready to set some more there. And then I got a free packet in the mail. It was for Horizon tomatoes. Don't really know anything about them, but of course you got to try it. Here's one of the plants. It does not have any fruit on it yet, but here is the other one, and it has 3 clustered right there and some more blooms on it. So we will see if they taste any good. And these last 2, kind of surprising me, because cherry tomatoes are usually so prolific that they just climb and grow, and you have more than you even know what to do with, but they're not there yet. We do have that little cluster right there, and then some more there, and then we have a cluster there, and some more to grow up here, but they just, I don't know. I figured they would be the first thing to just take off and grow, and it didn't. And then this last row is a mixture of peppers. I had 1 poblano plant left over, and you saw those huge ones down there at the end, and then you come up here closer to the shade, and you see that this one's not near as good as that one, those down there. So, it's interesting to see how things grow in different places in your garden. The next 1, 2, 3, 4 plants are ancho chili peppers. And this one is doing really well. It has lots of blooms on it. This was a smaller plant, but it decided to go ahead and grow one. And that's a nice looking little chili pepper right there. I've never grown these either, so we'll see how those turn out. But the next couple here are the ancho chilies as well. And then the last 3, I think, are cayennes. And they already have cayennes on them too. They are doing really well. There's some cayennes right in there. I see lots of cucumbers that need to be picked. And then there's some cayennes growing in that one as well. And then we planted a few sunflowers down this row just because I would like to have some sunflowers. We had a big sunflower patch last year, which was really, really pretty, but we didn't get to do that this year. So here is my row of cucumbers, and it's kind of average that we need to harvest every other day because they just grow and get so big. And we are only doing 1 row of cucumbers this year. And we had enough cucumbers this week come in that we were able to can, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 jars of pickles. So we are already canning pickles. So we're going to go through these cucumber plants here in a few minutes because there's a ton of cucumbers in there that are definitely big enough to be picked. Like that one. It's perfect. Perfect for pickles. And there's several more like that. We trellis our cucumbers instead of letting them grow on the ground. And we've really liked that. They just kind of hang and grow just like that right there. Now you definitely have to get in here and move your leaves around so you can find all the cucumbers, and you never can. You always come back and then they're twice as big and huge. Olivia's awake this morning. Good morning, Olivia. And you never can find them all, but you try. And here's some, I will. These were planted a little later, so they've not really taken off yet. And there is a bee in there, pollinating away. So the next row is really cool. I have never planted butternut squash. And these are smaller ones, a honey nut butternut squash. And there's a new one coming along. And they're just growing down here, though. I will have to show you. I'm sneaking up quietly because yesterday when I came out here, not yesterday, Thursday when I came out here, there were squash bugs on my plants. And these plants are the most established ones and have the biggest of the fruit. You can see right there. Isn't that just beautiful? I love it. It's exciting. It's so cool to grow something new and see it come and grow. It's awesome. There's another one. And they're not supposed to get very big. I think maybe 5 inches in length is kind of their height. But they're definitely growing. And I came out Thursday after I saw the squash bugs on these plants, and I looked up under the leaves to look for eggs, and I removed them. And then I also just scooped up as many of those squash bugs as I could and just put them in soapy water, hoping that I got most of them. But we know they're here, so we have to just keep watching our plants and make sure that we get a hold of them before they get a hold of our plant too good. So this is a Cushaw pumpkin plant that a friend of ours at church gave us some seeds, and this is the only one that germinated and survived. So there is one bloom right in there, and I've been kind of watching them and seeing, hopefully we see some more, but I would be excited if at least I get one, you know, just to try it, just to see it. I thought about trellising it out up here on this cattle panel, but you see how huge it is. I'm really thinking I'm going to have to try to keep it more on the ground. I'm going to have to leave that one there. It's already intertwined, but I think I'm going to have to leave it on the ground. I think that it's too big, it's too heavy. I'm not sure how well it will do, so we'll just have to see. And then down here at the end, I planted some rattlesnake pole beans. We did those last year on what we call the volleyball net. We have not been able to get the volleyball net trellis up this year. Things have been busy, and we've not all been together enough to get that coordinated and up. So I'm just going to grow them here on this trellis, and if they get way too big for it, we'll just keep weaving them in and out, and it will be okay. It will be okay. But through the drought, I was able to germinate these, and I was worried about the heat and the dryness, but I planted these seeds, and I came out every day and made sure to water them, and they still have germinated and come out very, very well. I'm very happy with that. I didn't know if they would or not, but they did. And then the last part of the garden here is the green beans. And so we have, this row is jade green beans, and this row is contender green beans. They have been doing really well. I noticed that they are starting to get a little dry, even with us watering them. It's just heat, and it's a battle. But look, they're still blooming. They're still going to give us some green beans. I've already harvested once off of these. I got 2 quarts of green beans, and I'm sure in the next few days I will probably have some more that I can harvest off of these really bigger plants. These are the jade ones, and they taste really good. I really like them. They're a nice looking bean, and they have a good flavor. And the contenders did well for us last year too, and they have lots of blooms on there, trying to keep them watered so they don't dry up. And then they go all the way up here, and really truly these 2 rows have been like a succession planting. We planted, and then we've replanted, and then we've planted again, and so they're just all coming in different stages, and that's okay. That's the way green beans can go. You know, you can succession plant those, and cucumbers, and still squash, you can still get those, so in the long growing season. And then this last row, we did a few sunflowers as well. I can't remember the names of them. I'd have to look that up, but we do have some down through here. Not all of them germinated. Not all of them have taken off to grow, but a few of them did. Few is better than none. So that's the garden. Look at how green it is, and has grown so much just in a month from those little bitty plants. It is really pretty. I like to come up here and sit where David is sitting, because then I can see all the cattle panels and all the growth, and it's so pretty.
Don't y'all think Laura's doing a good job? I think she's doing a good job. All right, guys, so that was a walk through the garden. We're gonna Laura's gonna pick those cucumbers, and then we're gonna go down and take care of the goats. Be back in a minute. So we've made it down to the goats, and I tell you what, you want to ruin some goats, start feeding them animal crackers, because then they think that every time that you come down that they ought to get an animal cracker, and they will just pester you. Isn't that right, Chippy? You need an animal cracker, don't you? Don't you, Chippy? and they'll come over to the watering post, but I can't get them to drink out of it because Laura won't take the other thing out. But Max likes it when we push the thing. Get your drink, Max. Come on. Good cold water. Cold, clean water. He hadn't figured out how to push it yet, but all the goats come up here and they think that we ought to give them animal crackers. But anyways, guys, we hope that everyone has a safe and happy 4th of July. And we thank you for watching our channel, sticking with us. If you are a newcomer and this is your first time, we hope that you would think about subscribing, help us to grow our channel. And we just appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great holiday weekend. Take care and God bless.